Bud Light, you want to block me? Huh? I'm getting Dylan, what is it? Dylan Mulvaney to get you. The A Show.
Where smart is the new sexy.
And now, April Hunter.
Hello and welcome everybody to this wonderful Mercury. I can say this Mercury.
See, it's all screwed up.
I know. So we're already having equipment technicality, shall we say, some issues. So we're sorry. We were running a little bit late, and we're working again. Hopefully everything will be good. So thank you for joining us. I see Winona, Jerome, Eva. I see War Demon. I see everybody joining us tonight, and my lovely co-host and Fred. I see Fred. Hi. My lovely co-host, Big Ray, is frustrated because he had everything laid out so nicely.
Very.
And it wasn't working.
I'm still working on shit right now as we talk.
I know. So we are lucky enough to have Miss Lady Liberty, Libby, coming back on. She was able to give us a little more time this week, so she'll be joining us shortly after we hit on a couple of things. So, John Westcott, hello, welcome. So, haven't seen you here for a little bit. So, Dark Side, hi. Hello. So, welcome, beautiful, smart people. Anyway, we are looking forward to having a fun show. We're going to cover lots of stuff. I think our most important story tonight is the hot dog eating contest.
Oh, yes, the hot dog. I'm sorry. I was doing several things at one time. Let me see. All right. I think we're all good here.
Yeah, I actually hear an echo, too. Yeah, do you hear that echo?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, well, I guess it's going to be what it's going to be.
Oh, no, I know what. All right, hold on.
Okay.
Do you hear the echo anymore?
La, 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 la. Not right now. No, you fixed it.
You know what? Let me do it. Let me run it. Let me do a quick test real quick.
Okay.
Here we go. All right, I'm gonna get on my gimmick here, the Schnabitz. All right, these people have no idea what I'm saying.
Oh,
right?
yes, it is National Bikini Day.
Hold on.
So, okay.
What do you guys want to talk about?
I don't know if you heard that. Did you hear that? No. Let's try it again.
What do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, I heard that. Apparently, they want to talk about National Bikini Day,
So
and if you missed it, I did post. I had several people text me and say, hey, in case you've missed it, which I did, It's National Bikini Day. And I love it when you guys let me know stuff going on because I have a calendar that it's like a basic calendar. So let me know things going on and I'll try and be appropriate with it. So National Superhero Day, National Bikini Day. So if you go on April Hunter or Real April Hunter on Twitter, you will see that we played with National Bikini Day. So
that is awesome. Is it now bikini? That's just a woman thing, right? Like there's no male bikini, is there?
I would at this day it's equal opportunity, right? You didn't do a bikini post, right?
I did not. Jesus, This is all my camera's all fucking weird.
Oh, you did a WCW for me? Did I miss that? I must have missed that. I love when people WCW me. Women Crush Wednesday.
Oh, I never did a WCW. Oh, my wife used to do the Man Crush Monday or whatever.
Yes, I love the WCW. I like to retweet those. And AB Twitch is here. Alex, hello. The Artist returns. So, no, I don't worry about being a lecher. I like to. Here's the thing, right? Yeah. I am doing so many different things now that I have turned into a flake, and I'm afraid I'm not doing any of them super well. So please, if you don't hear back from me, reach out. Put a boot in my ass. Remind me repeatedly. I need it. I love it. I need it. So,
Some people might like the whole boots in the ass thing.
And Fury Power, thank you. I appreciate that.
A lot of our friends are back with us today. So check this out. We have a bunch of things to go over. We started late. A whole bunch of stories, and I don't know if Libby's going to stay all the way till 8:30 with us. So if she doesn't, maybe we could save some stories for next week. But I wanted to rapid fire some stuff.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So I'm going to share something with you real quick. I'm actually shocked because I'm a little person, not like I'm a big guy, but who freaking knows who I am? And this happened to me earlier. So I was actually blocked.
Bud Light blocked you.
By Budweiser.
That's like getting the what are the fact checkers? It's like I'm the fact checker. So
Bro.
it was misinformation. You know you're onto something.
20 fucking 6 years I drank that beer. And I did drink Budweiser and Bud Light. I drank Budweiser and Bud Light for 26 years. I'm 47. So when did I start drinking that beer?
20 years old.
Yeah, about 20. Before
Yeah.
that I was drinking like cheaper beer because I was a teenager.
Right.
And, we just whatever we can get our hands on. But as I became an adult, I started anyway. I've been a big supporter of this place. But so now everybody knows what's been going on with Budweiser, right? And Bud Light and the whole thing with the Dylan Mulvaney thing. Now I'm going to ask you a question, April.
Ask me a question.
Do you genuinely feel that large companies, and we're also going to talk about Ben and Jerry's, this all kind of is going to kind of meld together here, this one story. Do you think large companies that offer services like food, technology, that type, should really get into any type of political statements and stuff like that?
No, I don't. I really don't. They should be seeing green. They should not be seeing any political spectrum. They should not be seeing race. Their only thing is to whatever happened to the customer comes first. That was always the thing with America. The customer comes first.
Right.
We're a service-oriented country. Customer comes first. All of a sudden now it's like, what is your political affiliation? What is your mission statement? What is your ESG score?
Right.
Are you diverse enough? Like, what is this bullshit? And why are you blocking somebody who's a customer who has a legitimate complaint?
Bro, and I just want to clarify something. It's not that I was complaining. People are going to think I'm full of shit. It's not that I wasn't complaining about Dylan Mulvaney himself. I actually kind of whatever. I kind of respect the dude, and I think that he or she, whatever the hell, has done a really great job at promoting herself, right? Making a ton of money. Hey, listen, some people will say it's woman face. I think that's what it is, but neither here nor there. This person is a performer, an actor, and this person has made tons of money getting sponsorships by Bud Light. You do you. My problem is that, when companies start making political statements and start fucking around with their core-based customers,
mm-hmm.
they alienate the people that actually are the bread and butter of,
mm-hmm.
their business.
Mm-hmm.
So now what's happening is that now Bud Light, that company, that brand, no longer number one in the United States, obviously, but they actually, after losing billions, not just 10 billion, not just 20 billion, $30 billion. That's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't stick up for Dylan Mulvaney. Now, I don't know if you've seen this video before, but this is...
I did watch the video.
All right. Yeah. So, we can fast forward some of the parts, but I wanted to share some of this for people that didn't see this. Dylan is not happy with Bud Light.
I tweeted about this situation when it first happened, and I said, you guys, like I'm gonna call Dylan she, because that's how
she
wishes to be addressed. And for me, it doesn't matter if it's wrestling, if you want to be called
brother.
Brother, or if you're trans and you want to be addressed as male or female, I'm just gonna call you whatever the fuck you want.
All right, I'll call it right.
I don't care. So she went under a shitstorm because of this whole thing. And I remember I tweeted and I said, you guys need to kind of like back off of her, because she's just doing her job. Like, she's just taking the paycheck. So if you have a problem with this particular situation, you need to go to the corporations who are using these causes and taking advantage of these situations, of which they really don't care. They don't care about trans issues. They don't care about gay issues. They don't care about Black issues. They don't care about any issues, women's issues. They don't care about that. They're just going to use it to get ahead until the next best thing comes along. So they don't give a shit. They're just using it to publicize. So I said, why are you taking it out on this person who is just earning a fucking living? Like, any of us would have taken that deal.
Right.
Any of us would have jumped at that. And go right to the corporation if you have an issue. So
I'm going to answer this question real quick. Legit question, Ray. What was the political statement? It's very easy to answer. That went viral when Kid Rock expressed his redneck opposite. Why is it redneck? Because he had a gun?
Kid Rock is not a corporation.
Kid Rock is a person. He's a customer like myself.
Kid Rock is a public he's a public persona, not a corporation. He doesn't serve the people.
Right.
He's a creative artist.
Kid Rock was also upset because he was a big time supporter of Bud Light, Budweiser, that company. WWE also under fire this past week for being sponsored by Bud Light. I mean, they got rammed up the ass. No pun intended. But what I'm saying is that the political statement that I feel, or what I feel, is this: Bud Light said, you know what, our core. And it wasn't even about like them putting even Mulvaney's fucking face on one can. It was when that dickhead, I'm gonna say dickhead, when that idiot, that lady, she got the drinkers are fatty and they're so stupid.
They
And
insulted their audience.
Yo, I was like, wait
I
a
know.
second. I'm fucking 50 years old. I pay my taxes. I'm a blue collar worker. If you go back on my Facebook, go back. There are tons of pictures of me holding a fucking big tall can of Bud Light.
Yeah,
I kid you not. Coors Light, Bud Light.
I have 0 pictures of me holding a big can of Bud Light. By the way, we have new people joining us: Tian Kupiner and Wade Williams. What's up,
buddy? Tian Kupiner is my dude. That's
Jerome. Hey, so thanks for joining us late.
All right, so let me just play this little quick video real quick, just so people have an idea. If you haven't seen it, this is Dylan, and she's pissed off. She's pissed off. He's pissed off. Whatever you feel comfortable saying.
Just shade.
Oh, I think he's whatever.
Hi.
He's got a cock. Sorry.
One thing I will not tolerate people saying about me is that I don't like beer, because I love beer and
That ain't fucking beer. That's fucking iced tea. I'm sorry. All right.
I always have.
If she has a cock, she might like beer, honestly.
Platform on being honest with you. And what I'm about to tell you might sound like old news, but you know that feeling when you have something uncomfy like sitting on your chest?
Like a penis?
Well, that's
Stop it.
how I feel right now. So this feels like the right thing to do.
Sorry.
I took a brand deal with a company that I loved, and I posted a sponsored video to my page.
I'm gonna give him respect real quick. Give her respect for this. Number one, Dylan didn't throw Budweiser under the bus immediately. Didn't mention them by name. Could have mentioned Budweiser by name. So this is why I'm saying, like, I don't know, man. There's a little thug in Dylan Mulvaney. When I say thug, I'm saying this in the most complimentary way possible. He's a businessman, business person, businesswoman. God damn it, I'm having trouble with this. I'm not joking around.
It's just a bunch of chubby theys and thems.
Jesus, all right. Let's continue.
Okay, and hi Wolf, what's up?
And it must have been a slow news week, because the way that this ad got blown up, you would have thought I was like on a billboard or on a TV commercial or something major. But no, it was just an Instagram video.
Can I say this, April? If Dylan always acted just like this, I wouldn't have as much of a problem. Not that I even have a problem with her, because this is just like a normal woman, just having a conversation, not like, oh my God, going crazy. You don't act that way, do you?
If you've watched a bunch of the videos that Dylan has done, it's pretty consistent.
Okay.
I've watched her stuff before.
Okay.
Oh, and the wildest part is that they also sent me one can with my face on it.
Yeah.
You might have seen it. And funny story, I had the can around my house, but then I realized, wait, I need to protect this can. So I hid it somewhere, and now I can't find it because I hid it so well. But when I do find it, I feel like it needs to go in a museum, preferably behind bulletproof glass.
All right. Now that's a little much. The reason why I keep on stopping this is because I don't want to get struck down. You understand why I'm doing commentary as we watch this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you might be thinking, Dylan, why bring it up now? I'm bringing it up because what transpired from that video was more bullying and transphobia than I could have ever imagined. And I should have made this video months ago, but I didn't. And I was scared, and I was scared of more backlash, and I felt personally guilty for what transpired.
All right, I don't think we need to see more. So basically what Dylan starts to explain is that he's afraid to leave the house.
Yeah, if you go further, and,
right?
Yeah,
I don't want to play this too long, and this is where I think it's kind of fucked up. This is what I don't like about it, because Dylan's just trying to be a business person. I swear to God, I'm not doing this on purpose. Business person, shit.
There you go.
And this person is just trying to make some money.
Right.
Technically, Dylan ain't really hurting anybody.
No.
I'm just saying. You know, I'm talking about Dylan. I'm not talking about the whole.
Dylan was being used as a pawn to create a shitstorm to
So
draw
much
attention.
trouble with this.
Yes. So yeah, no, I mean, so she goes on to say that she can't leave her house. She's being attacked. She can't go anywhere publicly.
Right.
She fears for her life and well-being, which is, I can see it. I've seen what has been aimed at her on Twitter and Instagram. It's a lot of hate. So
It's a lot of hate.
Yeah,
but
I
mean, now the opposite argument, and this is where I give a shit, but I don't give a shit, because you kind of wanted this, Dylan. You kind of, I'm not saying you wanted to hate, but you wanted to be famous. And when you're really fucking famous, people are gonna, number one, they're gonna follow you, they're gonna hate on you, they're gonna. It's part of being famous. A lot of it. Am I wrong?
The more popular you are out there, the less popular you are back here in the locker room. So yeah,
that's true. Like look at April. April is a well-known person. I wouldn't say you're necessarily famous. Like The Rock is famous,
right?
Elvis Presley's famous. That's different. You're well known.
Elvis Presley is dead.
Well, he's says you, but but I really
conspiracy theorist.
No, it's conspiracy analyst.
Okay, that's right.
Please don't misgender me. Anyway,
right.
I'm really tied up about this, and the fact that Bud Light has would block me. Who am I? Like seriously, like I'm not even putting it out. Like I who the fuck am I? I just have what, like 2,000-3,000 followers on fucking Twitter. I'm nobody special. I'm a customer. How dare they do that to me?
That's April? Where we are now. I mean, I agree with you. I'm not gonna. I don't know. I don't know who's running their social media. I have so many thoughts on this entire umbrella of things.
We should have done a whole show on this.
I think Dylan is right in this recent video. If you get a chance to watch the whole thing, I think she's not incorrect on how she feels. I think attacking her personally was shitty. I think there is a lot of transphobia out there. I think forcing people to use pronouns is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I think labeling people as cis as the opposite of trans is ridiculous, because there isn't enough of a trans community to need an opposite. I think that trans women should not be competing in sports with naturally born women, and I think they need to have their own division, just like women had to develop their own division. So I mean, it's such a complicated thing across the board, and like Fred said, not everyone is going to agree with the lifestyle, but I don't know if we need to agree with the lifestyle as we need to, just like I don't know if people need to win an argument. I just think people need to understand where the other person's coming from.
Right. Well,
so if we can strive to understand instead of win, it's not a wrestling match. You're not trying to win or not lose. If we can strive to understand where people are coming from, then everybody wins.
Well, now this ties into this next story, and I'm trying to do rapid fire here, but so check this out. I don't know if you heard about this bullshit, but the company Ben & Jerry's, the ice cream company, they're an ice cream company. You stick to making ice cream makers.
Okay.
On the fucking 4th of July, they put out this goddamn tweet. This 4th of July, it's high time that we recognize that the U.S. exists on stolen indigenous land and commit to returning it. Learn more. Anyway, so it says here, the United States was founded on stolen indigenous land. This 4th of July, let's commit to returning it. Now, this is what fucking pisses me off, and I've done my research on this.
This land is your land. This land is my land. Fuck you, it's my land.
Right.
Fuck you, it's my land. I'm sorry, what?
Number one, the land wasn't stolen. If you
the land was pretty stolen.
Well, the land was fucking. It was taken over.
Here, hang on a second. Are you cold? I have some smallpox blanket. I mean, I've got some blankets
Listen,
for you. Here you
would you
go.
would you stop? Look,
Take that. I've got some safe and effective vaccines also. We've never done anything fucked up before. Here you go.
there is no land that hasn't been, I wouldn't say stolen. I would say conquered.
I would
Number
say
one.
fucking taken, right?
That's number one. Number two. Number two.
They took that shit.
Number two. Why
What?
the 4th of July? You
I
get
don't
out this.
know. Like,
Hold
they're
on.
trying to do the same. They're just trying to.
Hold on. Number three. Check this out.
Okay.
A lot of most of, if you do the research, a lot of Ben and Jerry's the warehouses and their company sites and everything like that all over the world, all over the country.
Mhm.
Guess where they sit?
What do they say?
They sit on a lot of land that was owned by the Indians.
Of course, they're up
Back
in
in
New
Native
England.
So my thing is, are you going to return your fucking land?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they like the concept of returning the land.
Are
I'm
you
not
going to
sure
give
they like
100?
the actual.
Then why say
know.
anything, especially on the 4th of July? That's not right.
Communists aren't very bright. So-
I'm serious. Like, why say this on the birthday of our country? I'm not. I've always been pretty patriotic. I love
I don't know. Did anybody actually pay attention to it?
Yes. Let's take a look at this tweet again. If you see, 23.4 million people viewed this tweet. Only 8,000 likes.
Yeah, like Eva says, they're trying to, shit stir.
So
Now, listen, if you go up to Canada,
they
have actually granted land back, and those are called reservations,
Okay.
and they self-govern. And there are areas here where there are reservations, and they self-govern. The police can't do fuck on a reservation. You have no jurisdiction on a reservation.
Fuck all, as you would
Yeah.
say.
Yes. So, are they the greatest places in the world to live? No. But they have some designated areas. But yeah, we did steal the land. Let's be honest. I don't
No,
know,
I-
not
see-
we, but there's been all of America across every aspect of this country has been nothing but dodgy.
Right.
Whether it was, rolling out west to try and take some land out there, whether it was the 1700s, establishing the New World and trying to get away from the British with colonialism and using the Scottish indentured servants that were fucking slaves. Okay, they were slaves, and then that didn't work out too well because we had a war, and then so they're like, shit, let's try and get some different slaves. So then they, brought boats back from Africa and tried again with different color slaves. So again, led to another war. Shocker. So you know what I'm saying? Like, this has just been dodgy thing after dodgy thing after dodgy thing in this country. It's a long history of dodgy. If you think about it, we started because of dodgy. We left England because of the Church of England. The king decided he wanted to, just get divorced and change the rules about the entire country. And this is how it's going to be now.
I swear to God.
And people are like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like that. Let's jump in a boat and see what's out there.
Okay, I respect that. And this is the great thing. You and I both have different opinions on this whole situation. I just don't think a company should do something like this. Now, because these companies, the boycott for Bud Light is a real thing. It's real now.
I agree with you.
But now listen,
I agree with you.
What they're doing is they have good, hardworking people that are going to fucking lose their jobs now at Ben and Jerry's. They're people that have been losing their jobs at Bud Light. I'm talking about
A
distributors,
lot of
truck
people
drivers.
lost their jobs.
Right. So stop fucking with the people that really need the money. You get what I'm saying? This is what angers me. Like, just for a goddamn political statement. Guess what? Ben and Jerry's is fucked because Ben and Jerry's is an ice cream, and then they're okay. They only have one flavor I like, and that's Cherry Garcia. That's it. And it's so easily replaced. You have Haagen-Dazs.
I love Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah, but look, you have Haagen-Dazs. You have Breyers. You have Blue Bunny. You have all these other ice creams you can pick from. It's just too much, man. Just too much.
Wait, Artist Returns. What are you saying? I'm going on a woke rant. What are you talking about? How is that
Artist,
a woke
what the hell
rant?
are you talking about? Yeah, attack her, not me this time.
How am I going on a woke rant?
I'm put it up there so you can call them out on it.
Right, exactly. it's just basic history. That's not woke or
All right.
not.
Listen, Libby's not here yet, so I'm going to start this story right now because this is awesome. What am I talking about, ladies and gentlemen? This is America's hero, the greatest athlete in the history of the world, our friend, Joey Chestnut. Do you remember last year when he choked out Darth Vader on the stage? All right, here we go.
By the way, this guy's local.
On CBS Sports HQ, make it mustard belt number 16 for Joey Chestnut. This video is not for the faint of heart. The competitive eating great won his 8th straight Nathan's hot dog eating contest today, downing 62 hot dogs and buns in just 10 minutes. In case you're wondering, that's about 18,000 calories in 10 minutes. That easily outpaced second place finisher Jeffrey Esper, who ate 49 hot dogs. That contest was delayed because of lightning.
Let's just stop real quick and look at these numbers.
How are you just not throwing up?
Bro,
62 hot dogs in how many minutes?
I forgot how long is what did they say there, chat? I forgot what did they say.
Is it 10 minutes?
Dude, listen to me. 76 fucking hot dogs.
No.
That's in 2020. That's in 2021.
Oh my God. It's always some skinny dude too.
He ate 62 hot dogs and he's like, yeah, I was really slow this time around.
Oh my God. Okay, so that guy is from Tampa Bay.
That guy.
He's from like Port Richey. So he's local here.
Let me finish this.
Florida man.
Almost done.
And rain in the Coney Island area, but that did not stop Joey Chestnut from winning his annual 4th of July eating event, winning 8 straight, downing 62 hot dogs this go around. That's the most in the last 8 years. That was back in 2021 when he had 76. That is,
by the way, his wife won as well
for the most hot dogs eaten.
Can you imagine him in bed that night?
Yeah, he's a 16-time champion, and so is his wife.
Yeah, no shit.
His wife is a champ too.
Is she really?
Yeah, she really is. She won as well this year. It's like a family thing.
Oh, that was his wife that won the other gimmick?
Yep.
All right,
that now has 6.
By the way, that's marriage material if you could swallow that many hot dogs. I'm just saying.
Total wins for the hot dog eating contest.
Yeah, that's probably where they met. He's like, "Oh shit, girl!"
It's like, wow, look at you
I like the way you swallow them hot dogs,
shoving them sausages down your gullet.
Fuck yeah! What's your number?
So here's the deal. You would think like a big fat guy, like King Kong Bundy would win these things. It's not.
No, never. Have you seen like the pie eating competitions? Like in Japan, it's always like some string bean dude.
Some string bean dude. I think that was the name of the guy that won the last.
Yeah, I mean they're always like the skinny. It's like they can. Yeah.
So you know how they do that, right?
No.
So it's crazy. They don't actually.
They don't chew, right? They just swallow.
It's weird. So this dude, Joey Chestnut, man, maybe I could find that. There's like a short video. I don't know where the hell Libby is. I rushed through all this. We could have did the whole fucking hour and a half. I'm gonna actually type in.
I'll check and see if she texts.
Yeah. Does Joey Chestnut eat so much? Let me see if there's like a quick 5-minute or 2-minute video that maybe will show us. Apparently, it's like, oh, here it is. Let me see. Let me see. Science behind competitive eating. Oh, yes, a cool 2-minute. All right, this is great. You ready? I'm gonna present this here. Let me just pull this up here. So, all right, let me just put. Yeah, maybe I sent through the link, and it's the same one that you got. So, anyway, let me just. They're playing a little commercial here, so we'll just give some love to. What is this? Ram, America's car. All right, check this out.
During last year's Nathan's hot dog eating contest, 7 consecutive time champion Joey Chestnut set a world record eating 69 hot dogs in 10 minutes. To put in perspective, 69 hot dogs looks like inside a human body. We brought in a one-of-a-kind anthropomorphic dummy complete with a hot dog stuffing.
That is incredible.
Oh my God.
So they're going to show us real quick. This is only a 2-minute video. This is great. This is going to show us exactly what the fuck this guy does. This is incredible. Hold on.
That's its official science term. Here we go.
Did it eat the bread too?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because they remember they eat the hot dog.
Eva says pegging your stomach.
Hold on, I'm gonna fast forward this. Let me see what this guy says here.
That is what it sounds like when Joey eats. Normally, a human can stomach, on average, about 1 liter of food before the nausea reflex kicks in, signaling us to stop eating. But competitive eaters train their bodies to ignore this reflex.
Depends
As
on
a
if
result-
you're high or not.
Say it again.
Depends on if you're high or not.
Bro, I could pack away some shit when I'm smoking weed.
Oh my God, right?
Here we go.
Their stomachs are capable
No,
of
we don't want to
holding
watch this. Just shut it off. Shut it off.
Come
It's so
on.
gross. It's
No,
gross.
this is science. We
Oh.
need to learn. Come on. We need to
down
learn.
4+ liters of food, a capacity more than 4 times greater than the average stomach.
That's incredible.
When you eat so many hot dogs, your stomach expands and actually does push all of your organs out of the way. This right here,
I didn't.
that's
Did you know that?
No. No wonder you're
Are
uncomfortable.
you really getting? You want me to shut it off? Are you getting grossed out for real?
Yeah.
It's almost done. Come on. I didn't know any of this. I want to learn.
Okay,
50
fine.
hot dogs. Oh. Uh-oh.
All right. Enough of this fucking weirdo. So, and also apparently that
Everybody else is like grossed out too. And then Tierney Cooper's like, continue the video, please.
perfect timing.
It is interesting though. No wonder it's so uncomfortable.
I see.
This is like a legitimate scientific thing. Like now we know why it's so uncomfortable when we eat too much because it pushes our organs out of the way.
Hold on 1 second. I have Libby. I can see you guys whenever she's ready.
Okay.
She can just jump on. So I'm gonna play her theme song. She has a theme song here. Let's see
Okay.
here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you want to introduce her.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the one. It is the only
Don't do that.
Lady Liberty Libby. She is back. All right, enough of that.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us when you
Good
have a little bit
Lord.
more time. Hi.
Hi. I just smashed my head so bad.
I know that's
Oh,
why
no.
I tried to not bring you in. I was waiting until the swelling went down, like the cartoons, the little lump in the head, like Tom the cat
You
gets.
feel like the
If I
tweeties around
showed
there.
you, if I showed you where I live, you would understand. It's a really small RV. It's like a really small RV. And I turned the AC off so that you wouldn't hear the
Oh.
jet engine sound.
That would have been fine.
But I
Yeah,
might just start
don't-
dripping sweat.
Yeah, don't worry about that. That's not worth it. Everybody wants you to have air conditioning on.
Yeah,
You'll
be
okay.
comfortable. If you want to throw it
Yeah.
on, throw it on. That's fine.
It's okay.
Imagine-
I'll turn it on in a little bit. If I start really sweltering, then we'll turn it on. But
All right, that's your choice. And that's what we're all about here. Your choice.
bumping my head up here was not my choice.
I used to live in an RV. I know what you are talking about.
You bump
I-
your head everything.
Everything.
Always
Yes.
have bruises.
And then the hip on the corner of the kitchen too. On
yes,
Yep.
Yep.
So
hips and head.
yeah.
Always.
You start getting really adept at certain things, and then changing the bed sheets also sucks. So, yep.
And our son sleeps up in like a bunk,
hmm
like a little, and it's a really small little space. And so changing the sheets in there is this whole situation. I might turn the camera around real quick and just show you. You'll understand.
You have my complete empathy there.
This
but-
just looks cute though, huh? This just looks like I'm sitting at a normal size house.
Well, I saw your shades and I saw the couch and I was like, oh yeah, that's totally an RV. Like I know, like when you know, because you recognize it.
Our neighbor is a
Yep.
RV.
It would be hilarious if the neighbor was walking around like topless. You know,
She
just-
does. She
Does
actually
he
does.
Really?
That was just a guess.
So yes. So do you see the reflector in the window there?
Oh God, are we gonna get a band? All right, let's go. What are we looking at here?
It's because she walks around naked. And
Does she
so
really?
That's funny.
All right,
that's because you guys moved
Libby,
in.
Libby, listen, Libby. Let me ask you a question. Be honest with me. Is she at least
Okay.
attractive?
What?
Is she at least attractive?
I'm sure
Her husband's going, no.
I'm not walking around without a top. God damn it.
No, I wouldn't.
It's hot, man. I would just
It's
walk
really
around with no
hot.
clothes on.
I can't tell the future. Anyway, listen, guys and gals out there, Lady Liberty, Libby, say that 3 times fast. You can't. Welcome back, number one. Number two, thank you for joining us last time. I know we didn't have enough a ton of time, but we got till about 8:30 here. If you can hang around with us, that'd be great.
Yeah, I will hang out as long as I possibly can. I think my husband is planning to come back around 7:30, 7:45 or so. We live in a 26-foot RV.
Mhm.
The only door that we can close is our bathroom, and then I'm sitting on the toilet, and I can put you guys in my bathtub.
Well, thank God the door closes to the bathroom. I mean,
The bathtub is like made for a child, so luckily I'm very small size. I can fit in there like this. This is how I take a bath. I'm like,
It's a nice life though. It's living free.
it's living free.
is it mobile? Like you guys travel?
It's an RV, so it's
Okay, right.
a travel trailer.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a 26-foot travel trailer. So I'm sitting. I mean, I feel like it's much larger compared to the first one we got. The first one we got, forget it. We were like, what did we do to our lives? We're ultra fucked now.
I did the same thing. I bought a trailer to go on the back of a dually, and it was small. I did the same exact thing, and then I ended up just getting the RV after that.
Was it just like
no? I was married at the time, so it was myself and my husband. We got divorced, so don't let that happen.
Was it because of the RV? Was it because you were on top of each other, and when you wanted to get away, there was nowhere to go? It was leave me the fuck alone. I'm trying to, but you're right there.
I didn't say that. You said that. So I'll just tell you this. A lot of the old timers in the park, we were the youngest ones. A lot of the old timers in the park. Right, exactly. So you know what I'm talking about.
Who runs around screaming like a psychomaniac. They're like the Californians. Look at them.
Yeah. The old timers in the park used to always say alcohol. Just make sure you always have alcohol.
So funny thing, he's gonna go to the store real quick.
Get alcohol.
To the local little spot there. And
as we say in the city, the bodega.
The bodega.
Yes.
It's the closest spot that has food and alcohol
and liquor.
And I don't need
liquor, Bubbles. Get some liquor.
Can you leave the shade open just in case your neighbor walks by? No.
What was that?
I said, can you leave the shade open? So we want to see your neighbor. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, it's okay. And hi, Chuck. Hello for joining us. Just everybody joining us late. Hello.
They're not home, and it's a really sweet. Listen to this. They're a really sweet, like highly conservative, older lesbian couple. Okay, they're amazing. I want them to be my best friends. I want to take one of them with me wherever I go. Like, tell me how much everybody sucks. Like, cosign. Everyone is an asshole. They're crazy. They're awesome. They're amazing. It was actually really awesome talking to them because they were the ones when I was like, so this is why we left California, Southern California, Los Angeles.
Am I getting feedback? I'm sorry, time out. Am I getting feedback from Libby?
I am too. Yeah, I can hear it too.
Probably because that's what happens to me all the time. Every time I do this.
Yeah, if you may have to back out and just come back in. I don't know if that's possible. In other words, just just log out and just come right back in with the same link. Sorry about that, guys. It's not her fault. I'm pretty sure that the neighbors are stealing the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I call that bubbling.
Yeah.
Have you guys been having more and more phone issues lately? Like I'm having all kinds of phone issues when I'm actually just trying to make a phone call. Like it drops or just goes silent.
What do you have?
I'm connected.
What's your gimmick? Was it T-Mobile?
No, I've got a
Verizon?
Samsung.
No, I'm saying Verizon.
Oh, what do I have? Verizon, yeah.
I have
This is
T-Mobile.
supposed to be one of the best ones.
All right, let me bring her back. Hold on. Here she comes.
I think we got the mic working.
Perfect.
Yay!
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect, actually.
No, I can't hear them. How do I hear them?
La 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 la.
Do I have to wear the headphones? Hold on.
Okay, no problem. There should be a little.
I can't hear them.
There should be a. You know what? She probably has us on mute. You think?
Hold on one second.
As the poor thing.
I can't hear them.
You're good in that.
I know. I just can't hear them.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna mute her.
Okay.
All right. I muted her until she's. Now, Libby, when you can hear us, let me know when you can hear us. Is she talking to me?
Yeah. I think
because I'm talking.
You can hear us now?
I don't know how to get it.
Just text her that there's a little settings gear in the bottom.
Okay. Give them to me. I hate doing this shit. Yeah, I know.
There's a little settings gear at the bottom that she probably. Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on here. Oh my God. The next door neighbor got them.
Maybe.
Can you imagine that? The phone comes back on. They can't hear us. Anyway, how you guys doing out there? There's
Okay,
always
I just told her. I said settings gear at the bottom. You can test for audio.
yeah, she could test for audio and stuff like that. Anyway, so I'm just gonna remove her until we're done here.
Okay.
So what the hell were we talking about before she jumped on?
Hot dogs.
Oh wait, all right, let's try
Being
this again.
uncomfortable.
Hold on.
Okay.
You can hear us, right?
Now I can hear you. Now
Right
I
on.
have to wear headphones and microphones and all this stuff. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the brass tacks here,
Okay.
young lady. Apparently, from what I understand, you can predict the future.
No.
Oh,
Is this
damn
what
it.
you're telling people? No, I
No,
can't predict the
not
we
at all.
future.
We
You
didn't
know
tell anybody
why?
that.
Because if I could predict the future, could
Mhm.
do you think I'd be in an RV?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, because if you knew the world was coming to an end, that's probably the best
It
place to
is.
be in.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
that's true.
So 2045. That is your film you put out, right?
That's the
Your documentary.
Yeah, that's this. Can you see that?
That's
Yes.
dope.
2045. Look it up.
Yeah.
And that's
Mhm.
on your. People can get a preview of that on your Instagram.
That's on. So the full video is on my Instagram,
Okay.
and then the full video is also on Band Video on
Okay.
Infowars. Yeah, it's under Slave to Liberty's channel. Thank you, honey. Thank you. I'll just
Let me
use
get-
headphones from now
Let me
on.
get an extra
Yeah.
bottle.
So
And
tell
back to
tell
bottom,
us
right?
tell us a little bit about that.
So okay, it's so weird for me to say I can predict the future because it's not me at all. Like earlier on my story today on Instagram, I was showing people how, so I'm trying to sell some artwork because we're so low on money, right? And I'm getting bit by things that are causing like blood blisters on my feet.
Mm.
And I'm like, so people that are like, you can predict the future and you know what's going to happen. I'm like, you're doing this stuff because you want to. And I'm like, do you seriously swear I wanted to leave Southern California and where I grew up? It's disgusting there. It's awful and I hate it. Yes. But it was still what I was comfortable with.
Mhm.
Right. Like, and there's that whole thing about, my husband's always like throwing that in my face, not in a bad way, but like reminding me that the only thing worse than being uncomfortable is change. The only
Yeah.
thing worse than change is change. Like
We only change when it becomes so uncomfortable that facing the discomfort of change is less uncomfortable than what we're dealing with.
Yeah, but at the same time, like it's horribly uncomfortable. But this wasn't my decision. Like I am not doing what Libby wants to do at all. What Libby wants to do, to be very clear for anybody watching, Libby wants to paint all sorts of stuff. I want to sit on the beach. I want to smoke a joint.
Oh yeah.
Have a good gluten-free beer, cheese bacon burger, and I want everyone to leave me alone. Because most people,
Gosh, she's like my spirit animal.
I think everybody in the chat agrees with this.
That's amazing.
I love people. And I fucking hate them. They suck.
Yeah.
They're so selfish and
Yes.
self-absorbed and egotistical and arrogant. And I was the first one. I'm the first one to say that about myself. Like truly. Because this whole 2045 thing, Libby did not come. This was not me. Like, come on. Have you seen my Instagram? Have you gone all the way down to the bottom? If you go all the way down to the very bottom, it starts off with me being like, I'm back again. Like, here I am. Some of you might remember when I was here last because of blah, 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 that happened. I had this crazy freak accident. I was at a concert with my then 14-year-old daughter in Pomona. And to make a long story short, it was a Vans Warped Tour concert at the very, very bottom. It's under the About Me stuff if you're bringing up my Instagram.
Yeah, I'm gonna go all the way to the
show
bottom. I'm
anybody.
gonna hide it for now.
Okay. So to make a long story short, and I'll tell you how this kind of gets to 2045. Don't let me get lost, because sometimes I get lost.
We all do.
I thank God though, because I feel like the times that I felt like I was the most lost, truly. That night last year, May 19th of last year, I mean, I died. There's not much like lower than you can get to like having your husband find you seizing in the bathroom and having to call, 911 2 days before your son's 5th birthday. That's what happened to me last year.
That's scary.
So, I feel like what happened to me and what I experienced started a long time ago. Like it was all these different things that led up to that. And although I woke up a long time ago, it's been like a process and it's been a journey and it's been just one level at a time. I don't know, so to speak. And there's been like one awakening after another, after another, after another. There it is. And so the one with me and my daughter
Is it this one right
standing
here?
next to each other, that one. Yeah. Yeah. So that's Hannah. She's so amazing. She was 14 there. She's 20 now. She's an artist. Her and my middle daughter, Sarah, are coming to visit us here where we moved to next week. And I'm nervous as heck. I had a woman fall on my head June 21st of 2018 at a concert that I took her to. And that incident was, without me knowing it, the beginning of how I feel like I ended up here. And this is why, because I've always been really intuitive. I've always had a very strong intuition, but that's for me was created from the trauma that I lived through as a child and growing up into my teenage years in my 20s, and their father's a narcissist and we got divorced, 12 years ago and all that stuff. But I say that because I struggled a lot with trusting my instinct and trusting what God was trying for like 40 years to get to Libby to see and accept. And I was just fighting it the whole time. The whole time I would fight it. I would make excuses. I would be embarrassed. I would be scared. I would be shy. I would, I didn't want to trust what God was saying to me. Really, ultimately, that's what it was for me. And it started kind of with that night because that night I should have said no to her. Like as a mother, I should have said no to my 14-year-old daughter who wanted to go stand in front of a stage that I knew was going to turn into a mosh pit. And I knew it would be dangerous for me. It was like God was like, don't do this. If you make this choice, you're going to go this way in life. And I'm trying to get you to go this way. But if you go this way, you're going to learn the hard way. What I could teach you this way, the easier, softer way, maybe. But I'm a stubborn, firstborn, Jewish, Moroccan, Jewish, loving Virgo, INFJ. Like, I'm very, like, I'm kind of intense at times, and I know I can be, but that's because I'm very passionate. And some people are very taken back by that kind of passion because they're kind of used to just, I don't know, boring, mellow, like monotone type of people. And that's not me. Like I wear my heart on my sleeve. I always have. I'm very honest, sometimes to a fault because it can come off to some people as
Go big or
kind of
go home.
brutal. Yeah. I mean, if you want to know the truth, and you ask me the truth, I'm going to tell you the fucking truth. Now, the truth is the truth is the truth. It doesn't matter how you fucking feel. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. And my dad taught me that at a very young age in not the healthiest way. However, for me, it was like,
And we
I
all
knew
don't
I
have our
should
own truth either. There's just one truth.
absolutely, for sure. For me, I think growing up in a really strict Jewish household in the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles in the 80s, named Libby, and looking like me, just I had longer hair until I chopped it off last year, um, was not easy at all. So having premonitions, I wouldn't call it anything that I'm doing. Um, Having the gift of discernment and having premonitions like that isn't something that's always really easy to explain or to accept as a human being. If you're having dreams at night and they're repetitive dreams, let's say it's the same dream over and over again, maybe not every night, maybe for weeks, months, years, whatever. And then you see that dream happen in your life, in this reality. After a while, it can tend to get really scary. And if you're trying to share this with people that are, I mean, when I first started sharing that kind of stuff, it was with my mom, you know, it wasn't with like a girlfriend or my siblings, it was with my mom.
Were your
And
family? I'm sorry. Were your family religious Jewish family or non-religious? They were
No,
religious.
my mother is the closest to like an Orthodox
Okay.
Moroccan Jew. She's Moroccan. So my
So they
mom was born
celebrated.
in Morocco.
So they would hold Shabbat and all this other stuff. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
making sure. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Hebrew was my first language. English was my second language, actually. I was in ESL,
Oh,
believe it
really?
or not. Hmm.
Well, see, I grew up in the Lower East Side, so everybody sounds like you.
Oh, funny. Oh my God. In New York?
Yeah.
You know, it's so weird that people always get that out of me.
You sound
I
like a New
wonder.
Yorker.
I'm not.
You really do,
It's my
though. But
attitude. I'm not. It's just me.
Mhm.
I just am over people. I lived in Los Angeles. There's so many people, always, everywhere, in your face. This is the most isolated I've been, other than maybe the the hoax the last 3 years, where people like suddenly wanted to stay away from me. And I was like, good, stay the fuck over
Actually, that was
there
actually my happy
with your
place.
fucking mask.
It was
It's
kind of my
like, oh
happy
my God,
place
what are we
too.
gonna do after COVID? We got to make some shit up as to why we don't want to be around people. So what happened at the concert?
Yeah.
The woman fell on top of my head, and I really feel like it was the beginning of my journey to understanding why I'm here, how my body works, how the human body works, what the nervous system is. Like, I had to study and teach myself so much medical stuff because I was being misdiagnosed for 6 months to a year. I was completely misdiagnosed. I was treated can I just say this? You can bleep it off if you want to. I don't care. At
No.
Cedars-Sinai, good. At Cedars-Sinai in Beverly Hills. Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Beverly Hills by some of the top best doctors in the field of female pelvic health. And these motherfuckers didn't know what the fuck they were doing with me. Let me just tell you. I was going in there with my son, who at the time was a year and a few months. I'm peeing every 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. I kid you not. I'm not exaggerating. This was 3 months after the woman fell on my head. So there was a delayed reaction in the symptoms that presented with my body. But when the symptoms presented, what the doctors saw, right, with their conclusions that came up to, what God was telling me was happening to my body. And I'm not somebody who has studied medicine or science or anatomy or biology. I dropped out of fucking high school because I hated it. I knew they were lying to me. I got into arguments with all the teachers, all the indoctrinators, and I knew at 15, 16, growing up in the San Fernando Valley in Woodland Hills, being a Jew, that everything was very grouped off. That's how I grew up. Everything was grouped off. There was the Hispanics, there was the Latinos, there was the other Latinos. Don't call them Latinos, though, they're Hispanics. There's the Persians, there are the Armenians, there's the black kids over there, the other group of black kids, there's the Jews, there's the evangelical kids, there's the like, you know what I mean? There was all these different groups. I didn't fit anywhere.
We don't have that here in Florida.
That's how I grew up in the 80s
No,
and
it's here in
90s
New
in the
York.
Valley. That's how it was. And I couldn't stand it. So when my dad gave me the option to continue school or leave and work, I was like, I'll work. Like, why would I stay here with this? So I started working when I was 16. So fast forward, meeting my husband and my first husband and leaving home and all that stuff and having my daughters. I was early on in my 20s, but fast forward, because none of that really is relevant to this much. Other than the fact that I never listened to my instinct. I never wanted to, whether it was about my first husband, excuse me, and who he was, what type of person he actually was, if it was what type of person I was, where God wanted me to go, like how I was using my own will and living in my own ego and with a lot of pride to try and accomplish what Libby felt Libby needed to do for Libby to be happy. That was basically how I lived my life for 41 years. I mean, that's the truth. It's hard for me to say out loud sometimes because I feel like I wasted 41 years of my life and I don't know how much longer I have left, but I know this is my last chance here. I know that for sure. But I feel like everything happens for a reason. And that incident, the reason I bring it up with my daughter when she was 14, over 5 years ago was because it was the beginning of me trusting my instinct.
Okay.
Like the beginning, because I got to a place, and it's amazing how, in the Bible God says that, I forget, I don't memorize scripture. I'm not like a
Mhm.
scripture Bible thumper memorizer person, but I've read the Bible several times. We read it with our son every night, the actual Bible, not a children's Bible, and he asks questions, and we stop, and it takes us a half hour to read a chapter, but we do it every night. My husband initiated that a few months ago, and we do a lot of things wrong. We argue, we live in a small space, we lose our minds, but we try to remember that we don't give up. We don't ever give up. You can walk away, but you don't give up. And as long as you have Jesus with you,
Mhm.
there's nothing you can't do. Nothing, according to God's will, that
I,
you
I have a
can.
quick question.
Mhm.
So you're talking about this really poignant time in your life where
Mhm.
something dramatic happened. It kind of changed everything, and it kind of
Mhm.
directed you towards this whole 2045 thing, right? It's
Yeah,
like it's
last
almost
year.
like because I was raised in a Christian home. My father was a pastor,
Oh,
and I
nice.
and I know for a fact that God always leads people to a certain place in their life where they hit a wall, or a wall hits
Right.
them, and then things change. So now my
Yeah.
question to you is that now that situation happened, it changed, right?
Yeah.
It kind of changed the way you thought. It changed your body a little bit. My
A
question
lot.
to you is a lot. My
A
question
lot.
to you is what doors were open for you to see what 2045 is, and what exactly is this 2045 we're thinking, you are speaking about?
And also,
So, mhm.
how did you end up becoming so good at the research that you do
Right.
regarding a lot of the financial institutions and finding
Right.
finding those patterns and paths and patents that are going on?
Those are really good questions. I'll give you,
Okay, so what you're
give me a
doing
second.
now.
Yeah. So hold on. So okay, what happened with my daughter at that concert in 2018 opened the door to me trusting myself.
Mhm.
And because I was able to learn how to trust myself, like that incident
Mhm.
caused me to have a condition called pudendal neuralgia. I had bilateral pudendal neuralgia. Your pudendal nerve feeds sensation to your sexual organs and your anus. So when
Okay.
that nerve is damaged, you feel excruciating, electrical, shocking nerve damage pain. And that's what I felt in my vagina, in my clitoris,
Okay.
like in my butt, for 3 years, while my son was a year and a half to 3 years later. And the reason I bring that up is because I feel like I've experienced such a tremendous amount of physical pain over the course of my life that this is going to sound nuts to you, probably to some people, maybe, maybe not. I've had 3 cesareans, I've had shingles, I've had 3 sinus surgeries, I had a hernia with 7, where I've dealt with a lot of physical pain. But that particular 3 year period of time,
Hmm.
that pain, physical pain, that affects you mentally and emotionally. I was bedridden for a good 6 months and I couldn't really do much of anything. It forced me, allowed me, I feel like, to be in a position where I was literally on my face. I was on the bed, on my face, on my stomach for close to 6 months, like
Hmm.
this, reading, studying, praying, crying, screaming. And for that 3 year period, I learned how the human body works. I learned all these different things about the nervous system, about, ganglias and chakras and whatever. And ultimately, after 3 years, I took some mushrooms, some magic mushrooms. I sat by myself this is the truth, for 6 hours with Jesus, with God, in another dimension. And that shit's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. It's been gone since that day. So I'm really grateful that God chooses to show me things to help me and to help other people. And that's how I feel like all these different things happen to help me trust myself. So that last year, to answer your question, last year,
Hmm.
May 19th of 2022, leading up to that night, this is important because people have had questions about this before. I was extremely depressed for 2.5 years, right? My daughters from my first marriage were basically alienated from me for about a decade off and on between my ex-husband and his wife and ex-wife, whatever, all the wives he had since me. Um, but when they left soon after my middle daughter left our house when we were living in California in Burbank. I think it was the day after the last day of school for her. She was in like ninth grade or something. And my oldest daughter left 2 weeks later. Their father had convinced them that their mother was crazy. Why was their mother crazy? Because, like you asked me, can I predict the future? No, I don't believe I can predict the future. I believe that God has gifted me with a very strong discernment and with like visions of what's coming so I can help other people prepare. And it's usually not pretty. So when I first started to dream that the world was being shut down, it was in like October of 2019. And I was already in the health community on Instagram under a completely different account. This was years ago. Doing pelvic health for females, women, helping them because of what I had learned about myself. See how it ties into each other? And as I started to wake up and share with them what I was researching, because how did I get good at research? I ask a lot of questions because I don't trust shit. That's really what it comes down to that I've learned from researching into why I'm the way I am and listening to a lot of Teal Swan and Jordan Peterson. I like a lot. I read The Body Keeps the Score. It's a phenomenal book, and I suggest everybody read it. Because I've done a lot of praying and fasting to help me. I don't know. I just try to emulate Jesus. So I'm like, well, Jesus fasted for 40 days, so I can fast. It obviously helped him. It helped him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done it.
Well, this is in biblical sense.
know.
If I may jump in biblical sense, most people are taken down to their lowest point in order to kind of give themselves up to opening up to that spiritual side. God will, in my opinion, God will break it down to build you back up and to kind of open your eyes. And this is not just in a religious sense. This is also in life in general, where people, you find yourselves hitting rock bottom, and there's only one way, and it's up. Right.
Exactly.
So now you're talking about these visions that you're seeing of 2045, right? 2045 sounds like deep and dark. For me personally, I'm a believer in God, and I believe that there is something greater and better for us moving forward. But we're gonna have to go through some trials and tribulations. Can you kind of break down what you've been seeing, what maybe we can prepare for, and what's on the what's on the other side? What's the good thing?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's beautiful.
What is that good thing?
It's a castle. There's a beautiful castle city being built. It's up there. It's up in heaven. Paradise is right next door. I mean, when you talk about having to be brought down to like the very bottom, I went through 2.5 years of such severe depression, so much grief because my daughters weren't my life, and they were my life. They were my life, my whole life. And so with them being gone, I feel like what happened to me, because it's been over a year now, it's not like the video on my Instagram that's 30 days afterwards where I'm reciting and going over what happened 30 days prior, and I sound kind of robotic and I'm emotional, and okay, that was 30 days later. And I did like an update 3 months later because people had so many questions and I was so shocked. I had no idea. I didn't expect anything to happen with that. I didn't think anybody would watch it. And I thought if anybody watched it, they would get really angry, right? Because I'm recounting what happened to me May 19th. I'm telling them what is up there waiting for us, what's coming, and what they have to do to prepare.
So what is coming? What's coming? I'm getting nervous.
2045 is the transhumanistic movement. That's what Agenda 2045 is. Transhumanism is the merging of humans and biological and digital functions together. So you could take biology doesn't have to be a human being. It can be a human being, but it's usually pieces of a human being, tissue, right? Cells, things like that, that they merge with biotechnology. So there's a whole field, biotechnology. Biotechnologies existed for a long time.
Biomedical. Okay.
Biomedical, bioethics exists, all this weird crap, right? What I saw that happened
Isn't
for me
Fauci's
May
wife head
19th,
of bioethics with
yes,
NIH? Okay.
Oof.
yes, yes.
Mm.
So what happened for me May 19th was I feel like God allowed the devil to whisper in my ear that I was so depressed and so useless and such a terrible mother that I didn't deserve to exist in this world and I should just die. And so because that whispering was going on for so long, meanwhile, I'm in rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole after. Why? Trying to prove to my daughters, when people ask me, how did I get into this? I was trying to prove to my daughters that they were being lied to by the indoctrination system. That's what I was trying to do. I was
Oh,
trying to pull my daughters out of the matrix with
okay.
evidence, with proof to go, sweethearts, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. Here's how they're lying to you. Don't take the shots. They're lying to you. And in the process of that, I'm like, well, I should just show everybody else because that's what I did with health, anyways, with pelvic health. I would share all this stuff that I would find with women that thought they had all these bizarre conditions and it would turn out to be pelvic muscle problems or psychosomatic problems, which people didn't like to hear. It's in your head, but it's not in your head. It's in your body. It's in your nervous system. It's trauma. You have to deal with it. If you don't, your body will remember and it will force you into either dealing with it or you'll have symptoms galore. Like name something,
I
you'll have
actually
it.
heard something about that today. They said a lot of people don't feel their feelings.
No.
And every time you stop trying to feel your feelings, it's like a waterfall. So you're putting something up against the waterfall, and eventually that dam is going to burst, and it creates all kinds of illness and sickness.
Right. So what happened for me was I feel like the devil whispered to me, and in the form of a man who said he was a doctor, and I believed him. And he stroked my ego a lot and made me feel like I was really smart and called me Dr. Libby and all this stuff because we talked about medicine. He wanted to know how I knew all this stuff, right? At the time, I was also told that I had long haul COVID pneumonia. And this is why this is important. There's 3 videos on my feed in a highlight reel that I added that says 5G plus 6G. Okay. There's 3 videos in there. They're just 90 seconds each, basically, because I condensed stuff into just your attention span. Because I understand time is precious and attention span sucks today. So people want to know, what are you trying to tell me, right? So I figured out that the 5G tower that was installed when I was living in Huntington Beach, 150, 200 feet away from me on a rooftop, was what was causing me to have these symptoms that presented as pneumonia. I'll say that.
Okay.
They threw in COVID, long haul COVID pneumonia, and then all of the crap medicine that goes along with it, right? Prednisone, antibiotics, antivirals, all this shit, vitamins galore, inhalers and nebulizers. It was ridiculous for months. And ultimately, all of that, if you've ever had an asthma attack, I've had asthma growing up. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but we won't talk about that. So
We don't judge.
People always say shit to me, but all right. So I had pneumonia in both lungs and I knew that. But the anxiety that I was feeling, the depression, wasn't really about that. But the doctor that I met convinced me that I had such severe anxiety that I was okay for me to take Xanax. Although I had told him that 12 years prior, I was addicted to Xanax when I was with my ex and I ended up having a grand mal seizure. And I don't think it's a good idea for me to do it again. Long story short, May 19th rolls around and I had a seizure that was induced by a heart attack because I had I had gone through severe withdrawals from this drug, which I ended up being on such a high dose of it that and for like 4 months, that by the time when I decided I didn't want to do it anymore, he wanted to keep me on a maintenance schedule, and I just stopped taking it cold turkey, knowing very well that when you're taking a high dose of Xanax or any dose of Xanax or any benzodiazepine, you should never self-stop. It always needs to be monitored. You need a taper.
Yeah.
And he refused to give me a taper. So ultimately what happened for me was May 19th, I had a grand mal seizure. I had a heart attack. So I don't know which one came first, the heart attack or the seizure. It doesn't really matter. My husband found me on the floor seizing, and he called the paramedics that showed up. And ultimately that night they stopped my heart 5 times. and gave me a drug called Keppra. That was what the medical records and everything showed. Keppra, they give you to slow down your heart, to bring your heart rate down so
Right.
that you don't have another heart attack. So, did they stop my heart completely? I don't know. It doesn't matter. They slowed it down so much that I blacked out every time. So, every time they would tell me, Libby, your heart rate's really high. We need you to calm down. Try to take a deep breath. Try to relax, right? What they're saying doesn't really register to my brain though, because it just had a fucking seizure. And my brain's trying to recuperate just from the seizure. But then I also had a heart attack. So now I don't know where I am. I don't know who you are. I don't know what's going on because I had a fucking seizure, right? And so of course my heart rate's escalating. I'm going into full-blown panic because I don't know where I am. I don't know what's going on, but I know something bad must have happened. So every time my heart rate went up to 180, 200, whatever they would say, they would give me a dose of Keppra to drop it back down so I wouldn't have a repeat a heart attack and die, right? Every time that happened, I was taken from here to paradise. And when I first opened my eyes, the first time I was in my bedroom, and they said, Libby, we're going to need to stop your heart. Try not to freak out. We need to stop your heart because your heart rate is so high. So just try to, and I knew this is bad. Something bad must have happened to me, right? When I closed my eyes, I'm in my bedroom 1 second, and a second later, I'm surrounded by thick blades of grass and wildflowers, and the sky is really bright and blue, but it's not colors that I've seen before. And I don't need to wear glasses. I have really serious issues with my corneas. I don't have any eye problems. I can see perfectly well. And then I'm back in my bed, and then I'm going into the ambulance, and I'm saying goodbye to my son, and everybody looks really scared and confused. And now they're stopping my heart again, and now I'm back in paradise, and I'm looking around and it's weird because I could see it. Over to the right, there's a huge castle, and it just goes on for miles, and it's really tall, and it's gated with a huge golden gate with patterns in it. And it took me a few months to realize the patterns in the gate is the tree of life. I don't know if you've seen the tree of life pattern. That's what's in there. And there's water. It's not water. Like somebody had said to me, the Bible says that there's no water. And I said, no, in heaven. I said, no, the Bible said there's no ocean. It didn't say there's no water. This isn't the kind of water that we have here. What I saw is waters that looks like streams, but like a mirror, but like crystal. And it's alive. It's not everything is alive and moving. And what happened for me was every time that I ended up back there, every time they stopped my heart and I opened my eyes and I'm there, yes, I believe I saw Jesus. He was too bright. People have asked me what he looked like. It was like when if you try to look at the sun, it's hard to look at the sun. You can't really look at the sun. It's too bright, right? So you want to look at it, but you kind of look away. And that's what it was like. But his eyes were very brown. There was flames in them. I could hear God's voice, God the Father, but he was very upset. He was very sad. He sounded like heartbroken, like I felt. And he asked me why I was there, and I told him I wanted to be there. I was like, I don't want to be down there. I remember saying very clearly, there's not enough love down there. There's too much hate. There's too much hate and there's not enough love, and I don't want to be down there. And he said, that's exactly why you need to go back. And I said, I don't want to. I want to stay here. And he said, I couldn't because nobody knew it was really coming. And that it would be just like the days of Noah, and that I was very egotistical and very arrogant and very prideful to have thought that I could go to these meetings and do all this nonsense and stop any of it. I mean, God was very clear with me. This isn't what I told you to do. I told you to prepare, like for what's coming, and you're not preparing the right way. You're not fighting the right way. You need to leave and you need to go to this place and you need to create a private community that is self-sustaining. Self-sustaining meaning a small community with a small amount of people, 50, 100, 1,000, what that small, that all have skills, all grow things, like back to basics.
Sound familiar,
The
Eva?
word that was in my head was, because I'm Jewish and I've been to Israel and stuff. So in Israel, when Israel was founded, they were founded and created. A lot of it had to do with the kibbutzim. So kibbutz is a place where you have a community kitchen. You have your own little place, but if you want to eat with everybody else, you can. Everyone has a job, and everyone circulates their job. So if anything happens to the people who know how to take care of chickens, you know how to take care of chickens too. You also are a medic. You also know how to create clothes. You know what I mean? Everyone has a job in order to keep the community running and going. And it was very clear that that's what I needed to come back here and do. And that I needed to tell everybody that these cyborgs are coming. Humans are being merged with machines via the shots. That's what these shots are. It's the beginning of the beast system. It's a big part of the beast system. The mRNA, and I knew all of this, and then I had to go looking for the proof.
Right.
But there was nothing to prove to you, because if I just come back and go, hey, Ray, April, so I died last night and came back, and God wanted me to let you know that those things going around that they're telling you to take those COVID shots actually have something in them. And don't ask me, how did I know this last year before other people knew this? Because God told me. Why did God tell me? I don't know. I'm not special. I'm an asshole, really. Just to tell you. Like,
Me
I don't
too.
know. I'm not like a special spiritual, Bible stuff. I'm not a good person. Like, I smoke cannabis because I need to. I still have issues and I don't want to take Xanax. And if that pisses off some people, that's cool. You can keep scrolling. Like, I don't know. People get all weird about certain things. I'm like, I have a vice. Yeah, I'm fucking human. Like, I'm doing my best. I just feel like everyone is given a gift. I don't feel like it's a select few, even
No, if
at
you want to know the
all.
truth, there's at least 3 or 4 of us here that have the same exact story. And I know one other person who also was legally dead who has a very similar story to yours, and he's in the chat too.
Awesome. I want to
And
talk to him then, because it's very bizarre to miss a place
yeah, and I
that you
had the same
can't
thing. I told my
drive
friend the
to.
same thing. I said, we have to get a small community. Everybody has a skill, and nobody can be part of this community unless they have a skill. We all work together. And that
Mhm.
was the thing that came to me as well. So
I
we've
mean, I
been,
came back and was like, for 30 days, and I could show you from, you know, it was weird because for the first, uh, it took me a year to be willing to go in my archive and look through my stories to hear what I sounded like and see what I looked like. Because even though I made like a couple videos and stuff, right, where I grabbed like some of those to show people, like there's a picture of me, like I'm catatonic. I'm completely catatonic. There's a couple of them actually where you can clearly tell I'm not drunk. I'm catatonic. And that's really scary. Like, that's a really scary place to be. The first video that I made regarding all of this, one of the first ones, was an awareness video about the dangers of Xanax. That's the first video, actually, one of the first videos I made that had to do with this. And
so
I got so much bullshit for it. I was like,
you're
wow.
gonna get pushback for every single thing because people
It is a
don't
devil's
like.
drug.
Yeah, you're just gonna people. The truth will set you free, but it's gonna piss you off first. So
For sure.
that's the story. So like
I mean,
we don't have too much more time because we have to wrap it up. But what
okay.
is it that you want people to know, to be aware of before we have to close out?
We have less than 10 minutes.
Okay. I guess I want people to know that Agenda 2045 is what's coming. What that basically means to me is everything that we've been watching come out and happen over the last easily 50 years, but more so over the last 3 to 4 years, has been to push this particular agenda. Nobody seems to know about it, but Agenda 2030, people are now hearing about a little bit. The 17 sustainable goals is what they're using to create the framework for implementing a transhumanistic society. So what that means to me, and the way I can explain it to you, is that the World Economic Forum has on their website right now listed that air pollution is their number one threat to humanity is air pollution. Okay, so we're going to start seeing, we've been seeing, but we're going to see more
Air pollution, wrecks.
catastrophic, ridiculous events, be it train derailments,
like California
spills,
wildfires that immediately, like
wildfires,
that mysteriously go across the entire country all at once.
Canada wildfires,
Like
right?
Canada, all these different things, right? Why? Because they need to prove to you, to get you to believe that there's air pollution. See how we told you there's air pollution? Okay.
Interesting.
So then there's going to be a climate lockdown. They've already talked about the climate crisis.
Oh, Lord.
Air pollution, the climate crisis. What's coming next? A lockdown. And so it's going to be a climate lockdown. Why? How? Well, they're going to tell you it's dangerous for you to be outside. It's dangerous. It's for your health. You need to be inside. It's too dangerous. The air is too toxic. You can't see anything. You've seen pictures of New York, right? Where you couldn't
like
see
Silo. We're going to be like Silo.
I lived through it.
So, okay. So then you know. So I said this months ago, though, and people looked at me like I was out of my mind. And I'm like, give me a second to look for the fucking proof while I take care of everything else in my life. But I'm just letting you know that this is what's coming. How? Chances are how they're really, realistically, most people don't want to hear this, but I'll tell you. Chances are what they're going to do is create more and more insane bullshit. They have the technologies, literally, to actually cause, right, a place like Yellowstone to erupt. If Yellowstone volcano erupts, do you know even what is theorized to occur in the United States and what areas may or may not be safe? That's just one example. They could do most anything, though, really, because of all the weather modification. So what I see happening, ultimately, they're going to create all this nonsense so that they can create a lockdown to get you to be inside. Once they have you inside, they're going to reset the digital financial system. How are they going to reset the digital financial system? Everything's chaos. There's chaos. Look at all the chaos. We can't trust who's taking money out where and sending to who and what. We don't know. This burnt down, that burnt down. Look at this explosion. That look. And then while you're inside, they get to flip on the 6G because now we've got the 5, but that's not going to give them their digital world because there's not enough what's it called? There's not enough space. I forget the word for it. They need more bandwidth. They need more bandwidth. There's not enough bandwidth with the 5G for them to create holograms. They need be able to create holograms, digital twins
Project
of us.
Bluebeam.
They can't do digital twins of us, right? They can't do digital twins of us and a digital world without the bandwidth. The 6G will give them the bandwidth, but that's not enough because the graphene oxide is activated by the microwaves being emitted by the 5G towers, which will soon be 6G.
And that's the graphene oxide is what was in the mRNA shot, which is continuing to be in the future shots. And it's also in the vet shots as well.
It's nanotech. Right. So I've been saying for a while, right? I'm like, I know it sounds crazy, but the mRNA shots are artificial intelligent graphene oxide nanotech. That's what it is. It's self-assembling. Correct. You're right. It's self-assembling.
Well, the military has come out and said that.
It's self-assembling because of the microwave towers.
Yeah.
But it's not self-assembling. So I don't know if you watched the Died Suddenly documentary Steve Peters
I did. We
when
did.
I saw
we
that
actually
documentary
got that
and I saw the stuff that was coming out of people and they were calling it blood clots, right? Because of what I went through too, and I didn't take the shot. And I was taking nanokinase to because of the blood clots in my body because of the pneumonia. And that had nothing to do with the shots. That was the 5G tower. And I proved it. And because I proved it, I was like, you're bullshitting me. Here's the truth. So I got away from the 5G tower. I did all this stuff to detox my body from the radiation and I felt better, right? What they're doing, the experiment, the whole experiment, everyone's like, it's an experiment. What is it though? What is it? What are they experimenting on? What is the experiment? The experiment is creating a transhuman, a humanoid 2.0, a cyborg. That's what they're looking to create. So what I see happening, some people are going to die A lot of people are going to die. Not everyone, though, will. Some people are going to mutate, and they're going to start mutating. The ones that didn't die were the AI graphene oxide nanotech took to their bodies and helped them to mutate and have all these gifts. Whether it be, and I know how it sounds, and I'm okay with how it sounds to whoever, because what the Bible says is that in the days of that these days are going to be like these days. And when I look at the days of Noah, humans were intermixing with demons and creating the Nephilim. And then God flooded the world because of the lust, because of the sexual perversion. I left Los Angeles because of the sexual perversion. There was so much sexual perversion every fucking which way I looked. I don't want my 6-year-old son being subjected to that. Just like, it's nasty. It's disgusting. So,
But we'll watch
what
it
I-
on YouPorn.
right. So
Yeah,
what
sure.
I see happening is that once humans start to merge with machines, like really merging with the biotechnology and having cyborg eyes. I mentioned earlier I had issues with my corneas, right? I was given the opportunity, a doctor that told me about it, because I had found it too. It's literally a cyborg contact lens. I have it on my page, on my Instagram page. It's not like a futuristic thing, it's a real thing. But when it comes to Agenda 2045, people have asked me why that year. I put it in my documentary. I'm not sure why. It could very well be that 2045, that's the year that was picked because that's the United Nations 100-year anniversary. But you have to understand who the United Nations are, like who the people are that created it, what their bloodline is, where it goes back to, why are they doing all this to begin with? And when I look at it, what I see is that some of the heads of all of this, Yuval Harari, which some people don't really know who he is,
Yeah.
not just Klaus Schwab, Elon Musk, that a lot of people think is a good guy, Donald Trump, that a lot of people think is a good guy. Warp Speed came from Trump. He was the one that brought Warp Speed, that created the contracts for 5G with the other countries. I have all the videos. I know there's a lot of people that can't stand if I tell them that Trump isn't a good guy because they don't know what else to do. My suggestion is don't trust in human beings. Human beings are liars. They're going to let you down. Anyone who is in any political office, if you believe that they're working for you, you don't understand how government works. You just don't get it yet. You don't understand that they all work for the same boss. There's bad cop, good cop. That's it.
Quick question.
Depending on. Mhm.
Quick question. And
Yeah.
we literally have like 3 minutes left, but I want to bring this
Okay.
up. AB
Okay.
Twitch asked a very pointed question. I
Mhm.
know it's gonna. Anyway, it's a
Okay.
can Agenda 2045 be
Uh-huh.
prevented?
Not anymore. It's too late. I
So
mean,
it's
it's way too
inevitable.
late. It's inevitable. It's way too late. They're looking to create the technical singularity. Once the technical singularity occurs, we're done, and we're very, very, very close. It's not going to happen in 2045. The technical singularity, I would guess, is somewhere between a year to maybe 3 years away if we're lucky. But AI is being fed constantly. What we're doing right now is feeding AI. It's
Yeah, someone
constantly
said Biden
upgrading.
signed an executive order for AI
That was a while
or
ago.
on robots.
Yep. Yeah, for biotechnology. That's correct. They did. I have it on my feed. That's right.
And don't forget
So,
the AI protection bill that they're trying to, present
yeah.
and
Musk
convince us
has
has nothing to do with AI. It has to do with regulating what we see, read, and hear and post
right.
in the United States on our
Yeah.
social media so that they can control us,
Well, by
control our content, and fine
2027,
us.
by 2027, in order for you to log into the internet anyways, via any which way, you're going to have a digital ID.
ID, and they're going to
And
want you to
that's
be
going to be linked.
vaccinated.
That's going to be linked to your central bank digital currency.
Yeah.
There's what's it called? The QRSW. I think it's
Hopefully
the
that
QRSW.
here's where I think that we can step in and do things. So change is inevitable. It's going to happen, right?
We have 2 minutes, guys. We have 2 minutes.
Yeah. We'll just wrap it up. And if you could put Libby's social media across the bottom, that would be awesome.
Sure, I'll do
So
that.
change is inevitable, and it's going to happen. But where I think that we still have control is that there's always more of us than there are of them. And if the people say no and stand together and start recognizing that we're being divided down the middle with every single thing, and start standing together and stop fighting, that is a big thing right there. But compromising, you want 15-minute cities? Okay, fine. But don't fine us for leaving, because there's people who are artists. There's people who have long distance relationships. There's people who their parents live somewhere else. 15-minute cities make things convenient for people, but don't fine us if we want to go somewhere else and be a professional wrestler or a professional musician. So you want to do digital money? Fine, but don't take away cash. You still have to have the tooth fairy.
That's not going to happen that way.
Well, that's where we have to stand up.
Yeah, I feel like the safest thing for us to do is what I've been doing, for us to be fully self-supporting and create our own communities, like I've been saying. That's what's going to exist.
Well, hopefully that will be hopefully that will work.
Yeah.
And thank you for being on, Libby. Appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who was here. And I saw lots of people coming in very, very late. Steve and everybody, thank you for being here. We love you. Hopefully we will. Go ahead.
Sorry we had to cut off, man, because we're getting to that point. But Libby, thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Follow Libby on Instagram. Check out all her social media there at lady.liberty.libby. And guys, you can check out the documentary there as well. Lady Liberty, Libby. I can't say that so fast.
You can say it.
Just Libby. Just Libby's good.
Libby. Thank you for joining us this week.
Thank you for being here. Remember, information is supposed to make you feel empowered.
Absolutely.
Not scared. Nope. So just feel empowered.
And Jesus is coming back. So I have to get that in. Jesus is coming back. That's the good news.
Well, that I agree. I hope he comes quick.
There's those of us who don't believe in Jesus. So what the hell do we do? But that's another discussion on another day.
That's on you, dude.
Open heart. Jesus loves you.
I love me some
guys.
Jesus, baby.
Fuck you all.
Bye, guys. God bless.
Thank you for being here. See you next Wednesday night.
Next Wednesday.
Bye.
Woo. Mwah.